Hey guys, my name's Alberto, um, aka aka Destroyer 48. Welcome to my A Destroyer movie channel. If you're here for the Demon movie, Demons review, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and comment, and blah blah blah. Who cares? F the world. F stands for forget the world and all the corruption that's in it. Yeah, so today I'm gonna do my movie review over Demons. It's Dario Argento presents. I think it's like Italian movie, a film by Lamberto Bava. And it says down here it's a slam bang gore fest, the gore score. And here you got your Demons. So let's go ahead and jump into this movie review, shall we, of Demons. It's a 1985 film, I believe. Um, the way I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do an overview first, and then we're gonna go over scenes over the movie. It's gonna be a hard review to do because there's one of it's at one of the movies where there's a lot of characters and a lot going on. So I'm gonna try to stick to the main four and then a couple of more, and that's about it. Cause it's a lot of crazy action. Okay, so in Demons, um, it's gonna be like people are gonna be invited to a free movie at some place called the Metropole, a theater called the Metropole, and there's gonna be it's kind of like a demon outbreak that's gonna break out in the theater, and for some reason they're gonna be locked in and can't get out, and one of them is gonna turn into a demon, and then you get scratched or whatever, you turn into a demon. So everybody's trying to start turning to demons, and we're gonna in the theater. Several people, they got these free tickets, and we're gonna see. It's gonna be a question of survival because each one of them is to start one by one. They're gonna be turning into demons, and they're gonna be running around the theater trying to run away from the demons, trying to escape, trying to find a way to get out of the theater. All right. Um, so that was the overview. So now we're gonna talk over some scenes over the demons. It's gonna start with a girl named Cheryl. She's in the subway. It's not in the United States. It's in another country. It's like either in I don't know. Like it looks like it's Italy or Germany. It's one of those countries. Um, Cheryl is gonna be in a subway and with a lot of people, freaks, whatever. She's gonna get out the subway train and be alone, and then she thinks she's being stalked, and it's gonna turn out to be this guy that startles her that has a mask like this. He startles her, and she's afraid that this guy is gonna harm her or try to kill her or something. But it turns out he gives her a free ticket to a movie called the Metro for a movie theater called the Metropole. And Cheryl stops him and asks him if she can get another ticket for her friend Kathy, and he gives it to her. And then other people start showing up at the subway, and he starts giving them all free tickets. So Kathy meets, I'm sorry, Cheryl meets Kathy outside and tells him, "Hey, let's blow off class and let's go to the movie theater." Or like, oh, Kathy's like, "Okay, fine, we'll go." So they blow off some class. I guess they're going to college and stuff. They blow off the class, and they end up Cheryl and Kathy go to the Metropole theater to go watch a free movie that the guy gave them a ticket to, a free ticket. Kathy and Cheryl arrive, and they're trying to get a Coke. They're banging the machine and give them the Coke. Like, hey, but the looks like the Coke machine's getting is rob their money, and they're trying to get their Coke out of the Coke machine. And then these two guys show up, George and Ken, and they look like they take an interest in them. And George is the one that bangs the Coke and is able to, just like Fonzie, from Happy Days, bangs the machine and is able to get her Coke, whatever. And Kathy and Cheryl leave. They go sit in the theater, and George and Ken go after them. They go sit with them in the theater. You're gonna have other people arrive at the theater. One of them is a father and daughter. Now the daughter's name is Lisa, and they're gonna go sit down. And then you're gonna have this guy that looks like a pimp. He's gonna show up with these two girls. The guy that looks like a pimp and all these fancy clothes, his name's Tony. And the girls he brought along is Rosemary and Carmen. They go sit down. And you're going to have all these other people go sit down. Too many characters to mention. But those are like the main ones. Then you have, Tony and the two girls. One of the girls, Rosemary, puts on the mask as so. That's on a motorcycle. Motorcycle's right here. And it has like some mannequin guy with a sword on the motorcycle and a mask that's on the sword or something, or on the bike. And Rosemary puts the mask on as so. Tony makes her take off the mask and puts it back, and she's like, "Oh, I got cut." Rosemary gets cut. So Tony, Rosemary, and Carmen go and they go sit down with everybody in the theater. I look fresh. So we're all sitting in the theater, them and some other people. The movie starts playing, and the movie playing is talking about demons and the same thing, putting on the mask. It's the movie's like about two guys and a girl. They go to some dirty old house, whatever, and there's a graveyard, and one of the guys in the movie puts on the mask. Puts on the mask as so. And the guy that puts on the mask gets cut, and surprisingly enough, remember Rosemary had put on the mask from the bicycle, and she gets cut too. And and later on, Rosemary's watching the movie, but her cuts gets worse, and she tells Tony and Carmen, "Hey, I gotta go. This cut's getting worse." So she's gonna go to the restroom. And then there's this attendant lady that works for the theater, and man, she's real pretty. I think she's like she has red hair with green dress, real pretty. At one time, she gets mad at Tony, Rosemary, and Carmen for smoking. But Rosemary goes to attend to her cut, leaving Tony and Carmen behind. Remember, we got George. We got George and Ken sitting with Kathy and Cheryl. George talks to Cheryl a little bit, introduces himself while they're sitting down watching the movie. There's an old man that shushes them. It's sitting in front because they're talking. Ken goes, I like this part, really romantic. Ken goes around, he's sitting with George, but goes around and goes sit with Kathy. Gets Kathy on the other side. And Ken's talking to him. And then we're going to have Carmen is like talking to Tony. They're like, "Wait, what's taking Rosemary so long?" Rosemary has gone to the restroom, attend to her wound. But Carmen says, "Oh, I'm gonna go." Tells Tony, "I'm gonna go check out on her." And then Tony says, "Don't take too long, whatever. Don't get lost either." And then we're gonna have Lisa, the daughter, with the father that's blind. She's gonna have a mysterious man come sit with Lisa, sit with her, and they're gonna start making out. Hopefully, I don't forget about those two. They're just making out in front of the blind man. But before that, interesting enough, Lisa, the father that's blind can't see the movie, can only hear. Starts asking Lisa, "Hey, if they're scared in the movie, the actors, whatever," and she tells him, "Yeah, they're scared." She goes until this man, strange man, comes along, sits beside Lisa, and starts making out with her right in front of her father, even putting his hand. Lisa's wearing a skirt, and he's like putting his hand down there and stuff like that. So we get back to Carmen is checking on Rosemary. It's in the restroom, attending to her wound. Carmen finds Rosemary, and Rosemary has now turned into a demon salivating from the mouth. And Rosemary hunts down Carmen and scratches Carmen or something, and Carmen is starting to turn to a demon as well. Mm, Carmen is she's like somewhere in back of the movie screen. She's running away in panic. She's been scratched by Rosemary, and then we have Kathy along with George, Ken, and Cheryl. Kathy is yelling, "Hey, there's somebody, like the movie's going on, and the movie there's people being murdered and stuff by the demon guy in the movie, and there's a lady there's a girl screaming from the movie. They're being murdered by this guy in the movie." And then Kathy gets up and she's hysterical. She's saying, "No, there's somebody really, really screaming behind the screen," and everybody's like, "Oh, you're full of it." And it turns out when they're all like telling Kathy to, "Hey, calm down," and it turns out that Carmen, that's been turning into a demon because of the scratch from Rosemary, you get bitten or scratch, you start turning demon, and Carmen actually is behind the scene, yelling because she's traumatized. She's been scratched by Rosemary and turning into a demon. So Carmen falls through the screen, turning the screen, and then she's on the stage, and everybody runs to her, and even Tony. And Tony's like, "Get out of the way, guys. She's a friend of mine," and they're attending to Carmen, but Tony's all freaked out because he sees something happen to her. She's turned to a demon, and I think that's the part where Tony brings up like, "Hey, she's now an instrument of evil," and and some of the girls have mentioned, "Hey, or some of the people are mentioning, hey, what's going on in the movie is actually happening to us right here in the theater." So Carmen's demoning out with her face. She's turning into a demon, and everybody starts running. But there's an old man that's gonna run, but Carmen catches him in time and scratches him, and he gets scratched and is now gonna turn into a demon too. So everybody starts running. They're scared. Um, we can't forget about Lisa and her mystery man, the one they're making now. They had gone somewhere else to make out. Lisa says, "I gotta go to my father," and the man gets her and they start making out again. Rosemary gets to them. Demon Rosemary, and she puts like a lasso around them because they want to go make out in the curtain, and that's the disgusting part because Rosemary is foaming, not even foaming, like green slime coming out. And then she had put a rope around them making out. They were standing, and she puts a rope around them. They were kissing, and they're like face to face. And then Rosemary's, this is gross. That's why it says gory here. Her green saliva, whatever you want to call it, foaming. It kind of falls in their mouth because she has them all together and her face is close to them and it foams in them. Ugh. Okay. Everybody else in the theater starts running. They try to go to the exit doors. The exit doors are somehow, I don't know how, rope. Somebody had to do it quickly. Has cemented or put blocks and entrance so nobody could leave. So they're tearing everything down, but there's blocks of cement and they cannot leave. Everybody starts running. Tony asked the lady that works there, the girl, the redhead and green dress, beautiful lady or girl, and asked her, "Hey, where's the projection? Because the projection thing, where they show the movie, because some of the people are saying, hey, what happened in the movies happening in real life here," and she says it's upstairs. They all go running upstairs, and they find the projection door, and they knock it down. They go in the projection room, and it's all mechanical. Nobody's running the movie. It's all made by computer. So they start tearing up the projector room, tearing up all that stuff, the projection, and they destroy that. And they end up, everybody's running frantically. They're also looking for the exit doors. They can't find exit doors. And then they run to the back to the theater, and they go like on the balcony on the top. And they're trying to hide there. And it turns out that I guess Rosemary the demon had thrown that couple, Lisa and that strange man she was making out with. They hung the man, I believe. So he's hanging from the balcony, and everybody's trying to take out the seats on the balcony, up in the balcony, and barricade so the demons don't get them. It turns out one of the demons has climbed up the rope and has scratched Tony, and then George gets the knife and destroys the demon, whatever, but Tony has fallen off the balcony and is turning into a demon down there. Everybody's still trying to barricade from the demons climbing up or whatever. At one point, they're trying to get at a theater, and they do bust out through a wall. One of them has a kind of, I don't know, that fire extinguisher kind of thing. They break through the wall. They start walking around there through the wall, and they find out it's like, it kind of looks like a sewer where they break through the wall. They walk in, they're walking around out of the building to the sewer, but later on they're gonna come back. Meanwhile, there's this car out in the city, and it has 4 delinquents. The main guy, the main head of that gang, whatever you want to call him, is Ripper. One of them is called Hot Dog, and then there's 2 guys, one hot dog, and there's another guy, and then there's this girl that's with them, and they're all driving around cruising, and they have, Ripper has a Coke can and a straw through it, and it actually has cocaine where he's snorting, and they're all passing around snorting it. They're driving around, and eventually they're gonna go park outside the Metropole. The survivors that were barricaded and they broke through the wall, they went to that place that looks like a sewer. It's just like empty blocks or whatever, or just nothing out there. They end up doubling back and then coming back. There is a scene where they're all panicking in that place where they are, and that it's not a sewer, but it looks like a sewer. Just there's nothing there, just blocks of cement, rooms of cement, always. And they're panicking in there. The females are mostly panicking. They're telling them to calm down. They double back and they come back to the theater. Going back to the delinquents with Ripper. There is an interesting thing. Remember, they're parked outside the Metropole Theater, and the Ripper's friends or delinquents, the girl and the two guys, one of them called Hot Dog. They're fighting over they have possession of the coke can Ripper had, and they start fighting over it, and they spill all the cocaine in the back seat. Ripper gets mad and says, "You better pick up all that gram of cocaine," and they all start picking it up. And then there is a scene where the girl, they said they picked up all the coke, they put it like in a paper, and then I don't know, it may have been Hot Dog or the other guy. They said, "Hey, there's still some cocaine," and they go into the girl's cleavage. And they take like a razor blade to get it. I shouldn't be talking about this, but oh well. They go into her cleavage and take out some of the cocaine, and then they cut her above her breast. And she gets mad a little bit. She's getting turned on too. So it's actually kind of a turn on part, even though she's short and not that very pretty. The cops come and they're asking them if they're okay. Ripper's okay, and Ripper says, "We're gonna take off," but it's obvious that they're in a stolen car because Ripper's trying to hot wire with two wires, and the cops see it, and then all of them Ripper and his gang, they start running. Cops in pursuit going after them. They go through a corner, and then they find a door and they go through it. And the cops are like, "We got him cornered, whatever." But Ripper and his gang, they find a door to the theater, they get in. The door opens or something, they get in. And it turns out that Rosemary remember Lisa, the blind dad was attacked by Rosemary, and Rosemary put her fingers in his eyes. And now he's zombified, and when the gang goes into that place, the doors open, or into Metropole Theater, the doors open, so the blind father with his eyes gouged out by Rosemary is turned into a zombie, and he has gone out the door as well. So with a gang in there, the demon father, we'll call him, has gotten out, and he's attacked one of the police officers, and he's scratched the police officer, and the other police officer gets out his gun, and demon father's like with his hand, and the cop shoots his hand with his gun as soap, shoots his two fingers or something like that. So now the gang is in a Metropolo, and they're looking for a way out or something. Or somewhere to hide. The girl gets separated from them, going into a room, and then she is scratched, I believe, by Rosemary. The gang is the Ripper and his two thugs, Hot Dog and the other guy. They're there, and I think they're making noise. And then the survivors up in the balcony, they have barricaded, but now they hear people downstairs, which is, I guess, is the gang. And they say, like, "Hey, maybe help's here." And they start taking out the seats, the barricade from the top balcony. They're taking out the seats, say, "Maybe there's some help." And then that's when the demons that were demonified, like Tony and Lisa demon and some others that are the father, not the father, one of the old men that were there, the one that Carmen had scratched, along with Carmen and Rosemary, they're gonna, since everybody's taking out the barricades of the theater seats, That's gonna leave the openings, and the demons are gonna get in. That was stupid. The survivor should not have taken those seats out. So now the demons come out through the barricade because they all took the seats out, and they start attacking these demons. Start attacking all the survivors. Start killing most of them. Right. Um. Some are going to escape. Um. The original four is going to be Kathy, Ken, George, and Cheryl. They're all going to escape. They're going to find an escape route. They get out. But it's a really good scene. The demons are attacking all the people, while those four escape. You can see some people are crawling, and the demons will pop out a hand and they'll get them, scratch them, whatever. There's also this couple that escapes for a while. It's gonna be this guy and his girlfriend named Hannah. Before this guy was looking for Hannah, but he finds her and they're together. But now Hannah and the boyfriend, they're gonna go through. I don't know what you call them. They're gonna go through the roof and they're gonna start crawling through some where they air conditioned things. They're gonna crawl up there, and they're gonna get caught by a demon, and they're gonna get there. That's funny because I think the guy was crawling first, and she was crawling behind him in these air conditioned ducts. Oh, that's what you call them. And it's just like when you change, you go for or something. It doesn't matter. They get caught by a demon and they get demonized. So we got the four. They're crawling out of somewhere. They have escaped. George, Cheryl, Ken, and Kathy. But Ken is saying something's wrong with Kathy. Something's wrong with Kathy. So Ken has Kathy. And they're all looking at Kathy, and she's all traumatized and very weak. And I like this part because Kathy goes at one point, she's all weak, and she goes, "Who are you? Where am I?" I like that part. And then she starts becoming a demon. And she gets all, I don't know, she gets on all fours, like, I don't know, like doggy style. I don't know, I could get away with saying that. But she's on her knees, on her hands, and a demon pops out of her back, awesome, which scratches Ken. So Ken is starting to turn to a demon. They kill Kathy. They kill Kathy demon, but demon Kathy has scratched Ken. George says, "Let me help." Tells his friend Ken, "Let me help you." And Ken's like, "No, leave me alone." Ken runs off. And then Ken runs where the bike and the sword are at. And then George and Cheryl go after him. George is still, "Let me help you." And then Ken is saying, "Hey, George, do me one last favor. Help me." And George's like, "Anything." He's like, "Well, kill me. And then so Ken gets the sword from the from the bike, where the mannequin has a sword on the bike, and he says, "Kill me," and then George is like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." And then Ken had given the sword and like, "Do it, George." And then Ken starts turning into I want to say zombie, a demon, and then George kills him with a sword. So George kills his friend Ken with a sword. Then at the same time, the demon people are coming, and George gets on. George gets on the bike like this. and then get Cheryl in the back. All right, let's pause there. Let's get back to. There's a lot going on. Remember the gang and Ripper and his two friends. They show Ripper before this. Ripper and his two friends in the theater with all the demons going to attack them, and they don't show what happens. So I'm gonna assume that, and they have weapons. They have chains in their hands and everything. I'm gonna assume that the demons have killed Ripper and his two buddies, Hot Dog and the other guy. But now let's get back to this. So George had killed Ken with a sword. George gets on the bike and gets a sword with Cheryl. And they go to the theater, starting to slice the demons. Killed this one. And they're going up and down with a lot of demons coming in. Killed that one. And they keep going. They keep going in the theater and the bike. Oh, shit. And he's riding on a bike, killing the sword with the demons like this. Driving his motorcycle with Cheryl in the back and stabbing the demons here and there, killing them or whatever. And they kill most of them, and George kills most of the demons with the sword. And then a helicopter like that one comes down, hitting the roof, and it lands in the theater. Why, I don't know. There's people dead in the helicopter. Nobody survived the helicopter crash. I do not know why. I'll talk about it later. So it lands on the bottom where the theater is, where all the seats are at. This helicopter. George and Cheryl go in the helicopter. There's demons coming. George is able to turn the spinning thing around. And there's demons coming. Oh, the bike fell. And then he turns it and this thing starts turning. And it starts killing some of the demons that are coming. I think he killed all of them like that. There's actually some kind of grappling hook actually in the helicopter. What a coincidence. There's a hole in the roof. George shoots the grappling hook, whatever, and is able to put Cheryl. I think Cheryl goes first. Cheryl makes it up to the roof because that grappling hook is she has to climb it and climb it. Cheryl makes it up. And then the guy with the mask, that guy with the mask that was giving tickets out earlier in the beginning, he has partial mask. So this is the mask he puts. He's up there. And he pushes Cheryl or something. George is up. George is trying to climb up. He's at the top of the roof, climbing from downstairs with the helicopter. He has climbed the grappling hook on top. And the guy with a mask is on there standing, and George is like hanging onto the roof, almost up. But the man in the mask is like hitting his hands, whatever. But Cheryl's able to help George by helping George get up, and they start putting the guy with the mask. There's like. During the crash, there's like some kind of concrete wires coming out, and Cheryl, they get a pipe, and somehow Cheryl and George are able to put this guy's eyes into these two cement wires that go through his eyes, and then they go through his eyes and they kill him. Now Georgia and Cheryl, they're gonna want to get off the building. They have gotten off the building, and they're running the streets, and they're seeing that they even see like an apartment somewhere over there, or a building, where someone in the windows getting attacked by a demon. So the demon outbreak has gotten out of the metropole by who? The remember the dad, Lisa's dad, that got out through the door when the gang members went inside the metropole to go hide. She remember they shot off his two fingers, but he's able to scratch one of the cops. So we're gonna believe that. Well, that's the only way we seen is that cop has turned into a demon and probably infected the other cop, and then so on. They're starting to infect the whole city. The whole city, real quick, is already under the demon plague is already spread out through the city. So Cheryl and George are now running this through the city, and everybody, all the demons are running after them. And then Cheryl's like, I can't run anymore. George is like, come on, a little bit more. Demons are after him, running after him. And then this mysterious Jeep comes with a dad, a daughter, and a little boy son. They pick up George and Cheryl, and they start shooting zombies on the way out. And the dad's daughter, the dad is real pretty. She's pretty too. But they had picked up George and Cheryl. They tell him some things, where we're gonna go. I think the man says we're gonna go out into the country, go hide out there. They tell him there's some guns in the back if you need them. They kill some demons on the way out in the Jeep, and then the credits start coming, and then it shows that George and Cheryl are standing up in the Jeep. It doesn't have a roof, and then Cheryl turns around, and it turns out she's been scratched, and she is a demon. And then the little boy sees this and shoots Cheryl, pretending to hit me. Shoots Cheryl in the face. Sorry. Killing Cheryl. What did I shoot? No, I shot the Cobra Range Rifle. Okay. So George is like this, oh no, but she had turned into a demon, had no choice, and it shows her credits, and then it shows the Jeep, the dad, the daughter, the little boy, and George driving away down the street and out of the city. So that's the end of the movie, and I will tell you my comments on it. Oh, let's see. I really love this movie. I really, really do. I like it a lot. I like the part they give you that free tickets to the movies and being the mask guy. It was cool. I need to say this before I forget. So I'm gonna forget some stuff, but it's a lot. But I wish there was more of an explanation about the helicopter falling that just crashed the roof like nothing. We don't know nothing about that. It's a very gory movie. I like when Kathy, she's on all fours and like a demon comes out of her back because she's been scratched by a demon. They didn't show when they scratched her though. The Rosemary looks really scary when she turns to a demon. She ties up Lisa and the Mystery guy that were making out. She ties them like this, and then Rosemary's right with them, her face right there, and her slime coming and going into their mouth. I mean, that's gory. It's disgusting, but I guess that's the movie. It makes it gory. When the people are on the top barricade and take out the seats, and then the demons start attacking them, that's pretty cool. The gang, it's just so many cool things. That gang that gets in, that's pretty awesome. They didn't show them fighting. I wish they would have showed them fighting. It was the girl from the gang. She already been taken, I think, by Rosemary. She had been zombified. They did show her as a demon. They did show that Rosemary had gotten to her, that girl gang member, and they do show her in the theater where George is with a sword. She's out there. He killed one of them when he was on the bike with a sword. Ripper, Hot Dog, and the other guy, the other friend, other gang member, they show him getting ready to fight, and they didn't, and they show those zombies that surrounding them. I wish they would have showed that fight. And they probably do somewhere in editing or whatever. And they probably did come out in the theater too, and George would probably kill them, but I can't see very well. But the girl I did see. What else? The survivors just running frantic out throughout the theater. That was cool. The theater being blocked. I mean, they got in, and then the entrance, how did they block it up? Who did that? That's another question. Right? There's a lot of things to consider. I like that the survivors, they broke out of the theater, and then they had a double back. There's parts where they're smoking and resting and all that, the survivors. When George and Cheryl get rescued by that Jeep with that family, the dad, the daughter, and the little boy, where'd they come up from? How were they prepared? That's another question. That's a question I have. I don't think everybody's gonna have that question, but that's one I have. How can the city get run by demons real quick? I mean, I think that was way too soon. How did they all? It's like the city got destroyed like in in an hour or two. Wow, I guess. George going with a bike with Cheryl and with using the sword. That was cool. That was awesome. That was cool. The part where Rosemary, she had her zombie nails really long, and then she put it to the blind guy. Pretty cool. Gory. Tony was cool. The guy looked like a pimp. He tried to take charge of the survivors. He told them, do this, do that. I really like that. And they helped them. He argued with some. Some of them did agree with him. He did go to the projection room and try to stop the movie because they saw that the movie, everything that was in the movie was coming in real life. All the killings in the movie were coming up real life. So to me, it was like a spiritual. It's like a plague, but it was more spiritual demon kind of thing. That's what I saw. The fight with the guy with the mask at the end, that was pretty cool. Even though we don't know why the helicopter. Why was he there? How was he on top of the roof, and why did the helicopter crash? What's the reason? It was just a random helicopter out the sky that just crashed to the theater. The exit. How is it that the gang found the exit and the blind man that can't even see found the exit door? How couldn't the survivors find the exit door to get out that same exit door? That's a question. There's a lot of stuff to go over this. The barricades, that was stupid. While the people were barricaded on the balcony, they took out the barricade because they heard the gang downstairs, and then that's what let the demons in when they took the barricade out. Interesting. Stupid. What else? There's a lot, man. There's a lot. Rosemary turned into a demon, and then Carmen goes back there in the restroom. That was scary. But I've already went long enough. I think I went through a lot. I could probably go through this even more. The only worker I saw was a lady with a green dress and the redheaded. Oh, she was pretty. She's beautiful. There's one part where they show her getting ready for work and in the theater, and she's picking up her stocking. and she has a dress on and shows her leg. Awesome. Ripper was really mean. He gets mad at when they drop the coke, whatever. One of the guys talks back. Maybe it's Hot Dog. Talks back to Ripper. Ripper gets mad at him and tells him a lot of stuff he's gonna do bad, assault him and do bad things to him. And then the guy, Hot Dog, or the other guy, I don't know which one it is. He's like, "Ooh, baby, tell me more." That is a funny part. And I already went long enough. I think I'll probably do another review on this because it's funny. I'll probably try to come up with more stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the review here. Oh, I forgot to grade it. This movie, I'm gonna give my best everything. It's I'll give it an A plus plus plus. That's the highest grade I could give a movie. Demons. Let me show you Demons right here. In the back, that's Carmen. She's turning into a zombie when Rosemary got her. That lady, I think she's a wife of the husband. And there shows Frank right here on the motorcycle. You can't see the motorcycle with him. You can barely see Cheryl's a little shadow of her right there. I recommend you go see this movie. It's a 1985 movie, oldies I love, classics. Now we're in 2000, what, 26. We're old, or I'm old already. I like the classics even more. Go check it out, Demons. See if they have it on. I'm pretty sure they have it on eBay or Amazon or something. So I'm gonna go into my review, and I'm gonna tell you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I'll leave you with this. The world will never be a perfect place, but we can all make it better. Till next time, my name's Alberto, aka Destroyer 48. Thank you for watching my Demon review, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye bye.